Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today. Hello, friends, and welcome to this latest edition of Ridiculously Raw. I am your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. We'll see if he shows up. Um, I'm hoping he does because there was something that happened on this show tonight. I really want to get his thoughts on, if you know what I mean. But anyways, let's get on into this. Monday Night Raw. Of course, it was another show. Well, what else is new? But there was some newsworthiness out of this. Monday Night Raw live tonight at the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett, Washington, exclusively on the WWE Network, off the heels of a surprisingly good Stomping Grounds event, which I'm surprised that was actually a good event. I thought that was gonna, it was gonna be a crash and burn show, but no worries. We had that here tonight. Although there was some good out of it. We started it off with, of course, an in-ring segment. What else is new? We had the Universal Champion Seth Rollins interrupted by his own girlfriend, the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Sorry, MF, but some good comes out of this. They get interrupted. Well, they get sneak attacked by Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. And at Extreme Rules, the Extreme Rules pay-per-view on July 14th from Philadelphia, or as MF likes to call it, the Philadelphia, we have ourselves one doozy of a main event right here. It's a mixed tag team match. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, with the Universal and Raw Women's Championships on the line. Winners take all. We've seen this before. Go back to SummerSlam 2008, the quote-unquote Mike Adamle original, when Mike Adamle was running things. It was Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion at the time, Kofi Kingston, and Women's Champion Mickie James against Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix. And on that night, the titles switched. Beth Phoenix became the Women's Champion and Santino Marella became the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Relive that on the WWE Network, or if you have the SummerSlam Anthology DVD box set, either one. But, well, fine segment for what it was. There are some people that are poo-pooing all over this. I don't know why, but this is intriguing. I'm intrigued. I mean, well, I don't think the match is going to be a 5-star classic or anything, but it does add some intrigue. It adds some Shakespearean drama into this, and winners take all. So it doesn't matter who scores the fall. If Becky, let's say if Baron Corbin pins Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin is the new Universal Champion, and on top of that, Lacey Evans automatically becomes the new Raw Women's Champion, and vice versa. If Lacey was to get the fall on Becky, once again, Lacey would be the Raw Women's Champion, and that would mean Baron Corbin would automatically become the Universal Champion. We've seen matches like this before. I mean, the match that really jumped all of this, you got to go all the way back to the Third in Your House in September of 1995 in Saginaw, Michigan. MF and I remember this very vividly. This is one of our all-time favorite matches because it was our guys, Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Shawn Michaels, when they put the World Wrestling Federation title, the Intercontinental title, and the tag team titles were all on the line in one match. So, and we all know how that ended. Diesel and Shawn won the tag team titles. So, it kind of has that feeling. But, I know a lot of people are not going to like the idea. I know a lot of people poo-pooed on it. The crowd was booing. I don't know why. But they booed the match occurring at the pay-per-view. It was only because they wanted to see it in person for themselves. There are some who, for some, it'll be hard to get excited about WWE going with these pairings on pay-per-view again, even if it is in a mixed tag rather than singles matches. But if Becky and Seth go over, then the stipulation is Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans can no longer challenge either of them for their respective titles, I presume, as long as they're both champions. So a lot to make out of this, but definitely it's very exciting to say the very least. So I'm intrigued. So any of you who may be poo-pooing all over it, I'm fine with this. So there's really nothing more to say. I want to get good old MF, Michael Fletcher, in here. MF, let's drop some of that old school JR.
Yeah, I mean it's an exciting it's an exciting moment to see this happen. But the thing is, I think the reason why they're poo-pooing is because of the fact that it's who the combatants are in the match. Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans are getting another shot at the Universal title and the Raw Women's title, respectively. For Lacey Evans, this is the third month in a row that she's getting a shot at the title. And Baron Corbin, this is, I think, his second month in a row that he's going to be having a shot at the Universal title. And I think the reason why a lot of people are wicked angry and poo-pooing is, why does either one of them deserve another shot at the belt? I think that's why they're upset more than anything else. Is this going to be a good match? Very possibly, yes. Mixed tag rules is very interesting to have both belts, the Universal title and the Raw Women's title is intriguing enough. And Seth, if you really care about your girlfriend, Becky Lynch, for the love of God, you know what? I normally would never ever go Disney on you, but I gotta go Little Mermaid. God damn it, bro. Kiss the girl. Damn. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Dee knows what I mean by that. It's all yours, Woodson. This is gonna be a good match.
Oh, brother. I never thought I'd hear Disney referenced on a wrestling show. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. We've seen pictures of it, so yeah, let's do it on air. Kiss the girl. All right. Yeah, the segment was. I like the segment. I thought it was pretty good opener. I don't have an issue with the matchup. I pretty much saw that it was going to happen. I did kind of halfway expect that it would have happened tonight, but not surprised it's going to be at Extreme Rules. But it's going to be interesting to see both titles defended at the same time in a mixed match challenge, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out. So we got a good time to build this sucker up and make it hopefully a lot better than some of the builds we've had before. So I'm not going to say too much more on it. Florio, it's yours.
Yes, very interesting to say the very least, and I'm certainly going to be interested to see how this all goes down at Extreme Rules, to see how this all plays out. So, okay, moving on. We're definitely going to bring up another trip to the Wayback Machine here, a la Mr. Peabody and Sherman from the Rocky and Bullwinkle show from back in the day. We had an 8-man tag team elimination match using the old school Survivor Series rules here. On one side, you had the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival, teaming up with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and the Planet's Champions, the new Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. And on the other side, you had the Usos teaming up with Big E and Xavier of the New Day. And what I mean by old school Survivor Series rules is when one member of a team was eliminated, his partner went with him. And we saw these matches right around, especially in like 91 and 92 with the Survivor Series. But when all was said and done, the winners and sole survivors of this tag team match, it was the Usos. They get the fall on the Revival. I don't have a time of the fall. I'm sorry about that. But nonetheless, the Usos go over here. MF, I mean, old school Survivor Series rules here, but nonetheless, Usos get the win. I smell a championship committee moment here.
Oh yeah, this has to be a championship committee moment. The Usos probably are now #1 contenders for the tag team titles, and this was a good fight. I thought this was a solid fight. I could give this about 2.5 to 3. I thought it was a solid match. At the end of the day, the right team won. The most deserving team won. So I'm not too angry about it. Congratulations, Usos, and nothing more to say. So Didi, it's yours.
My laptop's not wanting to cooperate tonight, so pardon the pauses. Yeah, I could agree with the rating. I thought it was a very good old school elimination tag match. I love the old school rules. I love the Survivor Series, and this is a good reminder of all that. And it was very interesting to see the implosion, I guess you could say, of the two champion teams, since they kept taking each other out, and of course Daniel Bryan and Rowan were the first two to be eliminated, and then of course New Day was next. So yeah, I mean, you pretty much kind of knocked out SmackDown first, just to have Raw kind of end it all, which kind of seems fitting since this was Raw anyway. So I'm not going to say too much more. Let's toss it over to Florio.
Yeah. solid 2.5 to 3. This is one of the top fights of the night. Not the fight of the night, but one of the top matches of the night. In-ring action was entertaining. And, I mean, this is another one that most cannot make sense about. I mean, many felt that should have been labeled as the Usos defeating the Revival in a regulation tag bout non-title. But nonetheless, it was a fun match while it lasted. I wish we could have had a little more, but great action. The crowd was into it. So Usos and Revival definitely on a collision course. I smell a Raw Tag Team Championship match at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia, even though it hasn't been official yet, but I'm sure it will be. All right, now we got to get to the mass cutouts here, and we had a Miz TV segment. Miz's guests were the 24/7 champion R-Truth and his partner in crime, Carmella, and they would then get interrupted by Drake Maverick. We saw the silliness that went down at that wedding angle last Thursday, and some silliness came out of that, and they actually set up a regulation match for the 24/7 championship, R-Truth winning that in 13 seconds. Now, I know there are some people who enjoy the 24/7 stuff. I know MF is one of them. But in one sense, I'm kind of not. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, at least it's giving Drake Maverick some more TV time on the main show. I mean, other than his duties as general manager of 205 Live, and look how he's turned that show around. That show went from a cluster bleep to one of the best hours of wrestling on television every week on the WWE Network, and especially after what Cruiserweights freaking did last night. Oof. That's all I can say. So, and then we had the 2-on-1 handicap match. Shane O'Mac and Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns. The fight gets thrown out, but it gets thrown out for a good reason. Gong. Surprise, everybody. The Undertaker no advanced advertisement. They surprised us. They pulled the wool right out from under us. The Undertaker surprise appearance. Didi Woodson, I know the match is an NA, and that's fine, but Taker. Wow. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Kevin was sitting here while we were watching the match, and he said, I didn't want to say anything, but I was kind of hoping, Taker or somebody would come out. And I think, all of a sudden we see Taker, and it's like, okay, really? Nobody really. I don't think anybody really expected it, probably except for him. Like I said, he's in the back of his mind, he was thinking that somebody's going to come out, and so. Well, the first thing that popped in my head is, okay, Bullock's probably going ballistic. But yeah, I mean, now here we have an Extreme Rules match with these three, plus now you're throwing Undertaker into it. I mean, that's going to be pretty cool. I think that one may hopefully be something good, since we have Taker in it. So. Not much I'm going to say about it. I'm just kind of glad to see, Dead Man there. He looks good. So, Leo, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Yeah, we're not going to get into the match because the match was thrown out. I think we're all in agreement it's an NA because it ended in no contest because of Taker. And why this is such a surprise is the fact that WWE usually advertises Undertaker's appearances in advance, but it's been such a long time since they have created the feeling that anything can happen on Raw. So I am very much for the approach they took here. It was such a surprise that I initially, I knew that the match ended without a finish, but the question is, are they setting up an Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre and Shane O'Mac tag match for Extreme Rules? Or was this just a quick one-off for Taker? I don't know. But nonetheless, definitely the surprise of the night, the surprise moment of the night. Michael Cole absolutely lost it on commentary. I would have done the same thing if it was me. So, I mean, it's a shame this wasn't on SmackDown, because if this was on SmackDown, we all know how much MF would have gone bonkers. Instant Corey and Sean. And then we could have had MF's what if this was on SmackDown Live, but nonetheless, match is confirmed. Oh my, ho! So I guess it is going to be the Undertaker and Roman Reigns. Undertaker and Roman Reigns against Shane O'Mac and Drew McIntyre, huh? Wow, ho! MF, you got to have some serious thoughts on this. I mean, I only wish Bullock was here. I would have loved to have, but Bullock texted me, by the way. I want to let you know, Bullock texted me saying, The Undertaker is back. And I said, yeah, buddy. And Shane O'Mac and Drew got theirs. And he says, well, Shane and Drew just got rest in peace. So, Bullock's excited. And how about it? I mean, how about this? So, a Corey and Sean, what moment?
Yeah. Absolutely. It caught me off guard. I didn't expect Taker to show up. There was nothing in the dirt sheets, nothing all day saying that Taker was even in the city, and sure enough, he shows up. Shocking turn of events. Nobody saw it coming, and that's a good thing. Whenever you get a moment where you don't know anything about it and you get that pleasant surprise, that makes the thing a little more enjoyable. That makes the show enjoyable. So, no, good for WWE. A rare time that we get to praise them for what they just did. So, no, well done, guys. Excellent job. And yeah, I really got nothing more to say. Fights in NA, no rating. And the surprise was pretty awesome. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Florio, let's move on.
Yes, move on indeed. Man, that's definitely one that we're going to be processing for a while. I mean, I'm just very curious about I'm very much wondering what did the luge think? I mean, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that video. I'm sure she had that up. I bet she lost her mind like all of us did. So absolutely amazing. So, but anywho, let's continue on here. And yes, I do see it. I do see it on the Wikipedia site. Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon is listed in the matches. So, wow, what a treat for the crowd in Philly. Man, oh man, Philadelphia's gonna lose their minds. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, more cutouts here. More silliness from Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. You remember a few weeks ago they had an arm wrestling match. Follow that up now with a tug of war. My second favorite event behind Pin the Tail on the Donkey. I mean, I wonder if that's what they're going to do with them next. Are they going to play a game of Pin the Tail on the Donkey, for Christ's sake? I'm alone. I mean, you're wasting these two. I mean, yes, they're very strong men. Yes, they're powerful men, and that's great. But arm wrestling contest and a tug of war. It's probably going to lead to something at Extreme Rules. I don't know if it's going to be an actual match or if it's going to be another silly stipulation. You know, this is another example of Chuck E. Cheese booking here. So I don't know, but we'll see. But nonetheless, then we had the Viking Raiders. They went over Gallows and Anderson in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And then we had some more 24/7 silliness. Mojo Rawley and Heath Slater were getting ready for a match. R-Truth shows up, and Heath Slater actually wins the 24/7 championship. But then R-Truth gets the belt back. And then Cedric Alexander, lumbar check, he wins the title. And then EC3 hits a 1%er. He becomes the 24/7 champion. And then Carmella takes the belt from EC3, distracts him long enough for R-Truth to get a silly roll-up, and they're now saying R-Truth is a 9-time 24/7 champion. But nonetheless, we had all right, next matchup here, we had the WWE champion Kofi Kingston squaring off against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn had Kevin Owens in his corner, and then Kofi Kingston wins the match over Sami Zayn, 8 minutes and 15 seconds. And then Kofi would then go on to beat Kevin Owens just a few minutes later, 1 minute and 40 seconds. So I don't know how I mean, we're obviously not going to get into the Owens fight because that was, way too short and it had a clunky finish. If you guys want to get into the Sami Zayn and Kofi match, we can do that. If you want, but if you want to move on, I'm totally okay with it. So
it was an okay match. I'll give it at least 1 star for the effort. But the one thing that you totally just bypassed, Florio, was Kofi got jumped by Samoa Joe. Oh, yeah, what on earth is that? Samoa Joe, the next contender for the WWE Championship? Whoa.
For it.
I'm calling it. Kofi versus Joe for the title. Why not?
Yeah, why not? I wouldn't mind that at all. I mean, I would love to see a fresh challenger for Kofi. I mean, last several weeks, I mean, we've had Kevin Owens, we've had Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, a mix of those three. But now you throw in Joe. I mean, wow. I mean, Joe's a Raw guy. So if the match goes down and Joe actually wins the title, that I'm guessing that would probably send Joe back to SmackDown. And I know MF would be very happy about that because we all know MF is an avid Samoa Joe fan from day one. Not just nowadays, but from his days, not just in TNA, but also in his Ring of Honor days. I know MF has been a Joe fan since day one. So you never know, MF. You might get your wish. So, but nonetheless, the Zayn thing, it's the streak of Owens and Anwar Zayn losing on Raw on TV continues. I mean, I enjoy both men as heels, but we've reached a point where Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins are beating them. They're so routine, it no longer means anything. But I don't know. But once again, they're treating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn like they're the Washington Generals against the Harlem Globetrotters. They just keep losing. But and as for Joe, I want to take him seriously as a threat to beat Kofi, but it's kind of tough when he lost the U.S. title to Ricochet the night before and had a lot of non-title losses during his U.S. title run. I mean, we've seen him deliver these great beatdowns many of times, and he ends up losing the big matches. And one of the real issues with booking is that they haven't been developing strong heels for their babyface champions. They could undo a lot of damage they've done to Joe by having him be the guy who takes the title from Kofi. But I'm honestly not holding my breath on that. I mean, I would love to see Joe get his moment, but at the same time, I don't want to see the Kofi dream end yet. So, I don't know. It's a lot to make sense of. We had a one-on-one women's match, Alexa Bliss against Naomi. Alexa Bliss wins that match in a minute and 15 seconds, and then it turned into a tag team match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross over Naomi and Natalya, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if Nikki breaks bad with Alexa or if she'll end up being the naive girl who eventually snaps when Alexa betrays her and reverts to her NXT persona. Hopefully it's the latter, but you know, Alexa and Nikki, it's kind of intriguing. I mean, it's not over the top intriguing, but I am kind of intrigued by it. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's get into this main event. And kudos to WWE again. I mean, the Taker surprise was one thing, but giving these two guys the main event spot. Wow. Well done. The brand new United States Heavyweight Champion, the one and only Ricochet, non-title match against the phenomenal AJ Styles. Winner of the match, 10 minutes and 50 seconds. The phenomenal AJ Styles. Oh, fight of the night, without a doubt. This was 3.5 stars. I mean, my only nitpick is it doesn't seem to matter who holds the secondary titles. Those champions always seem to lose non-title matches on television. In this case, it's all about how they follow this up. It's well established that there's no shame in losing to AJ Styles. So this loss makes Ricochet look like the underdog heading into their rematch. And it would obviously be a big win if he could beat AJ to retain the title. The match was entertaining, and it left me, and I know everyone else, and I know MF and DD are in full agreement with me on this. It left us all hoping to see a rematch, a full-length pay-per-view sprint between these two, which I assume they will get at Extreme Rules. So if they could pull out a 3.5 star bout in only 11 minutes, think of what they could do if they get maybe 20 minutes at Extreme Rules. We could be looking at 4 to 4.5 easy. So and without a doubt, the show stealer of the night, unless there's another match on the card that ends up being better. But nonetheless, to me, 3.5 stars, fight of the night, without a doubt. MF, second time tonight, we got ourselves a championship committee moment, and boy, howdy, is this one going to be fun.
Oh, this one definitely is deserving of a championship committee moment. Great main event, great fight, nothing more to say. The winner, AJ Styles wins it, and yeah, I know a lot of people may think that that would be a little bit of a step below for AJ to have him fight for the United States title, but to make him legit and to make him a good competitor, sometimes you got to do that. So, congratulations to AJ Styles, and yeah, I would book him now as the #1 contender for the United States Championship. Nothing more to say. Didi, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm actually going to raise it a little bit. I'm going to go 3 3/4 star. I thought it was a very excellent match. Great way to end Raw. And yeah, I think we will, eventually see these two tie it up again, possibly for the actual title. and a 20-25 minute match would be amazing for these guys. Love the fact that they did show that respect there at the end. It wasn't just one sided. I mean, it was a mutual respect between the two of them, and that I love that fact. I also like the fact that they did restart the match because the Gallows and Anderson coming down, and AJ himself didn't have the referee do it. He did it himself. He sent them back in the back. He said that the match wasn't going to continue until they went away. So respect for that too, because that's another pet peeve. You want to see a match like this with a clean finish, and we got that. And I respect both these guys for what they did tonight and what we could possibly see with these two in the future. So there's not much more I'm going to say about it. Florio, I toss it back to you.
All right, and let's get into our overall review of this Monday Night Raw tonight. MF, I mean, we had some newsworthy stuff. We had some solid matches, some decent booking. It wasn't the best Monday Night Raw, but it wasn't exactly the worst either.
I'm going to give this about either thumbs in the middle to slightly a little over. 5.5 to 6 out of 10. I think this was an okay Monday Night Raw. It was definitely, like you said, not the best, not the worst. It's definitely a 50-50 show. It was a little more than a 50-50 show. I give this about maybe 55% approval, 45 negative. There was definitely some negatives, no doubt about it, but there was also some good moments. So it was decent enough. 5.5 to 6. Didi, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating, 5.5 to 6. I mean, that there was a lot of relevant stuff here. A lot of really great matches that was made, and a lot of build up already. We just got through having a pay-per-view, just got through a stomping ground. We're already starting to build up for Extreme Rules, and I think that's the awesome that they're already starting that build up now, and already giving us some big matches to wet our whistles and to get us ready for what we have to come. So I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, because I mean it was about thumbs in the middle, maybe a little bit better. A lot of cutouts, yes, but at the same time, very entertaining show. Even with some of the comedy bits, like the 24/7 title changing hands like 6 times tonight, 5-6 times tonight. I don't know, but you have those couple of really great matches that just sent it over the top. And when you have a good bookend at the beginning and the end, you got a good show, at least to a point. And storyline building, they're getting better on. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna say about it. I will see you guys for SmackDown. Night.
All right, good night, Didi. We'll see you the next time. So I'm just gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I mean, the creative forces did a better job than usual of filling the 3 hours. I mean, yes, there was a lot going on, and aside from the 24/7 nonsense, there really wasn't much in the way of filler. Also, it's very interesting. We didn't see Bray Wyatt or the Firefly Funhouse tonight, so maybe he's close to returning to in-ring action.
Can I cut in one more time before I leave?
Sure.
There was one backstage segment where AJ was walking. No, it was Miz walking.
Yes, the Miz was walking, and the Abby puppet was there. I know where you're going.
So apparently he was there, but yeah, it was no Bray Wyatt, but at least something teasing Bray Wyatt, I guess you could say. So yeah, that was something that we didn't catch it. We actually rewound it because we didn't catch it the first time. So yeah,
I noticed it.
Yeah.
Yep, Miz was walking by, and the Abby puppet was there. So
yeah. Okay, I'm going.
Gotcha. All right. So but nonetheless, we had what do we have? At least two, maybe. I think we had like at least two, maybe three quality matches on this show tonight. The main event, obviously, AJ and Ricochet. They stole the show like we all knew they did, and kudos to WWE for making that the main event. Well done, absolutely brilliant. And then that 8-man Survivor Series rules type match, that was solid action as well. And of course, that opening segment was solid. And of course, the big moment that came out of this was the surprise appearance of The Undertaker, which I know made Bullock a very happy man. So yeah, now we have two huge matches for Extreme Rules in Philadelphia. That winner take all mixed tag last chance for the Universal and Raw Women's Championship. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, and then on the other side, The Undertaker and Roman Reigns against Shane O'Mac and Drew McIntyre. So awesome stuff. All right, let's Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Now let's get into the Tony's Take here. 205 Live. For the first time in a while, they actually took a step down. But let's get into it. You had the Singh brothers against Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik. Singh brothers win the match 8 minutes and 40 seconds, pulling the tights and getting the win. 2.5 stars, solid tag to open the show. The feud will obviously go on. D. Brian Kendrick in a squash match, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And then Oni Lorcan against Arya Daivari. Oni Lorcan wins it in 10 minutes and 50 seconds via disqualification. 2 3/4 of a star. Pretty good. Lorcan is great. And unfortunately, Daivari is just there, and the feud is going to go on. So this was a 6 1/4 out of 10. Like I said, a big step down, a rare step down. It was solid, but it was a lackluster show. And they didn't really build the pay-per-view title match, but the match itself more than made up for it. So that's all there is to say on that. Impact Wrestling, let's get into that quickly. We had Tessa Blanchard against Jake Crist. Tessa Blanchard wins the match, 7 minutes and 35 seconds, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good opener, had a good layout, presumably furthered the build to Tessa Blanchard against Sami Callihan. Eddie Edwards against Madman Fulton. Madman Fulton wins it in 5.5 minutes, 2-star match, fun brawl, and the match was okay, but it served as a good way to continue Cross and Edwards. Moose against Tommy Dreamer. Moose wins it in 8 minutes and 25 seconds, 2 1/4 stars, okay match, but it was lethargic and sluggish with Dreamer getting in too much on Moose. Knockouts champion Taya Valkyrie against Su Yung. Taya Valkyrie wins by disqualification in 6 minutes and 25 seconds, 2.5 stars. Solid match, and it sets up the first ever Knockouts Monsters Ball. Taya Valkyrie, Su Yung, Rosemary, Jessica Havoc. Oh my word, that's got Joe Steeler written all over it. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's gonna be nuts. That's all I'm gonna say. TJP is in Impact Wrestling, and I think he and Ace Austin, well, TJP and Ace Austin had a match. TJP wins it in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Fun return match for TJP, but I hope they have plans and have him locked in, considering they sacrificed Ace Austin for that. And then the main event, we had X Division champion Rich Swann in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Michael Elgin and Johnny Impact. And Rich Swann wins the match in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. This was the fight of the night, 3.5 stars. A really good and tremendously fun sprint with a great post-match angle to sell the double main event of Slammiversary. So this was a solid 7 out of 10. Good show overall. Slammiversary continues to take shape rather well, which was the real strength of the show in delivering a great main event and one of the best handicap matches I've ever seen. So yes, that was very well done, and Slammiversary definitely continuing to look good. I mean, July 7th in Dallas. So that's when that goes down. We have 2 more shows going into that, and let's see what's on tap for this coming Friday night. And we will have the Rascals against the Laredo Kid in LAX. The North against the Deaners. Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie against Su Young and Jessica Havoc in a tag match. And then we have Sami Callihan against Falaba. So that all goes down Friday night on the Pursuit channel. Check your local listings if you have it, or if you don't, join MF over on Twitch, because I know that's how he does it. So that's it. So that puts the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in tonight. MF, right on cue. Let's set the table for the next Cerebral Smack Talk. When is it? Tomorrow, Wednesday? When is it?
Tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern. We're going to talk about SmackDown Live. And that's basically it for now. So, Anthony, it's all yours.
All right. Short and sweet and to the point. Very good. Tomorrow night, 10:30, Cerebral Smack Talk. Brace Fan 95 with good old MF Michael Fletcher at the helms. So until then, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher. And in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and the hardcore pipe bomb DF from RI 401 Derek Ferrer. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one. For now, Anthony Florio, so long. And bye, everybody, bye.